One of the wonderful things about humor is, remember the self-deprecating stuff. When you lower your status, you actually raise it. One of the other things about telling an embarrassing story or something that shows you, messing up or not in a perfect light, controlling everything, is who do you tell your most embarrassing moments to? Your closest family and friends. Not only do you make this person laugh, not only do you build that bridge of communication, not only do you brighten their day, you tell them on a subconscious level, I trust you with sensitive information. You're my friend. Do you know how hard it is to say no to a friend? Do you know how much harder it is when somebody says, could you stay an extra 45 minutes where this project really needs you? When you ask a friend that question? When you make people laugh, you brighten their day, but you also take a bit of control. You take focus. You become the sort of woman or man that they want to be around. Storytelling is a wonderful, wonderful way of doing that, and don't be afraid of making yourself look a little silly from time to time. It has a very, very important and deep impact on people. I'll tell you an absolutely true story. I want to talk about embarrassing. My wife recently had our third baby, and she was a 19-and-a-half-hour labor. Yeah, she's still not talking to me. But the way it worked out time-wise, we were up for 3 nights straight. So when we finally got home to our house, my wife flopped into bed. As soon as her head hit the pillow, she went, oh my God, I totally forgot to go to the unemployment office and pick up my maternity benefits forms. Now, it's not like after 19-and-a-half hours of labor, I can go, well, you better get right on that, sweetie. So I say, well, of course I'll go. So I'm still wearing the same shirt I've been wearing for 3 days. I've taken my pants off. I can't find them. I'm that tired. So I just grabbed an old pair of sweatpants. There's a big hole in the knee, stain from what. You don't even care what you look like at that point. I'm unshaven. I stumble down to the car, and I drive to the local unemployment office. We live in High Park, but High Park has become such an affluent area now, they've closed the unemployment office. So I have to drive to an area called Parkdale. And not only is this office in Parkdale, it's in the Dufferin Mall. More murders per square foot of anywhere in North America. So my kid is going to get born, and I'm going to get shot all in the same week. I'm just flipping out. So I run into this mall, I run in the government office, I grab the form, I tuck it in my pocket, and I think, you know what, I've been in the mall for like 5 minutes, no one's harassed me yet. I should do some quick shopping while I'm here. But it's such a low-end mall, they don't have a regular grocery store, like you have just like a no-frills, that's the big high-end tenant there. Now, I've never been to a no-frills before. I get like 6 bags of grocery, I give $1, I get back change somehow, it's amazing. So I stumble out, and my wife's family's German. I'm thinking, you know what? I have no beer in the house. I know they're big beer drinkers. They're going to come over to see the kid. I got no beer. I better find a beer store. Stop. Excuse me, sir. Do you know the way to the beer store? Guy turns around. It's a guy I knew from high school. Now, anytime you meet anybody you knew in high school, don't you try to tell them what a winner you are now? Everything in your life is working out perfect. And here I am standing in Dufferin Mall. Dirty sweatpants and a dirty shirt. No frills bags in each hand. Big unemployment envelope hanging out of my pocket. Asking for directions to the beer store. Now, how many people think less of me for telling that story? That's my point. You can, if you lower yourself, if you humble yourself, it sells your people, and you drive home, you make their day. Because they go, oh my gosh, we've all had moments that we're not in total control. We've all had moments where a situation has taken advantage of us and we haven't looked our best. You share that with someone. Even if it's not the exact same experience, you tell that person, I'm just like you. You become their friend. And whether you're the team leader or just a member of the team, when you speak, people will want to hear what you have to say because, oh my gosh, this woman is hysterical. You just have to have, we have to recruit her for our team. And we have to use, it's fantastic. It is a wonderful, powerful, powerful tool. Make sure all your jokes or stories have a clear intent. How many people have been stuck in a conversation with somebody that goes on 15, 20 minutes? At the end of the thing, they go, and you go, what was that about? That's 15 minutes of my life I will never get back. Make sure all your jokes have a clear intent. And here's the other wonderful thing about humor. You're laughing. Their minds are open. They like you. They think you're the funniest guy in the office. You're the best team leader they've ever had. All that. You can also sell ideas and the jokes. You can do jokes about how anal you are, how you are overly protective of your kids, how you're overly fussy at home, how you do all these sort of things. And the people will laugh at it because they'll recognize those characteristics. But what does that also say to you? Man, she is super organized. Who do I want on my team? I would want somebody who's that detail-oriented. You plant those messages in with the same story. You make people laugh, you make their day, but you also sell an image of yourself. Now, sometimes, no matter how clear you try to make a message, it gets lost anyway. A couple of months ago, I was doing a show in Atlanta, Georgia, and I did a very simple joke, what I consider a very simple joke. I said, I'm afraid of dying. You know, some people write how they'll die, dying by fire, dying by drowning. I think the worst way to die would be dying by alcohol poisoning. Because you wake up dead with the worst hangover ever. And then you got to walk toward the bright light. Did we lose the light, please? Now you got the joke. You're open-minded. You understand the joke. A guy didn't get the joke. He comes backstage all offended. You can't make fun of God. What? You can't make fun of God because God exists. You know how I know God exists? Because my mom was hit by a train, and my mom was dead for 2 whole minutes, and my mom saw God. Thinking, man, your mom couldn't see a train. God's a little more elusive, you know. No big horn or light on God that I remember. Next time your mom's walking toward the bright light, you get her check there isn't a train on the other side. One of the things I should probably have said then, and it's just occurring to me now, that as much as you should not make fun of a race, if you're, it's okay to talk about your own race and culture, because again, it's part of sharing yourself with someone. I think that's important. Like, I'm talking about my life here, and you're all laughing along, and it's part of sharing. You're learning a bit about what I'm about. And that's the important thing. Oh, you guys know who Nia Varkos is? She created My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That made $450 million at the box office, and not just because Greek people went to see it. We all saw people that we knew and characters that we knew in those characters. She was able to share her Greek culture, and I sat there going, man, that's so much like my Jamaican culture. It's very, very, it was a great way of connecting with people. So you should feel comfortable to talk about, I talk about my Jamaican heritage, my wife talks about his German heritage, but as a married guy, I've had to use humor to blend those two, because they don't exactly blend that well. A German-Jamaican wedding. You ever seen people try to polka to a steel band? But for instance, like Jamaicans are very loving people, but we're very poor islands, so our weddings are very much jump-ups. Whereas German people are very industrious, hard-working people, and so they're very elaborate with the wedding gifts, you know? I don't mean to brag on behalf of my German side of the family, but we got fluffy towels. Fluffy! If you're wet, took a corner towel, touch yourself, it would suck the water right off you. Apparently. Because I'm not allowed to use these towels. I'll work out of a shower, walk by them 2 doors down, use a ratty grade 12 gym towel. Then guests come over, she pretends like I use them all the time. Oh, wipe your butt with those. It'd be fine if it was just towels. We have pillows we don't sleep on. But we sleep on pillows, but when she gets up and hides those pillows, and brings out these big, fluffy, decorative pillows, in case in the middle of the day a SWAT team breaks in. We have little tiny soaps that just sit in a dish in the bathroom. Little tiny guest soap. In case little tiny guests come over. What happens with soap when it sits day in and day out? It gets dirty. So here I am on my day off like an idiot with a toothbrush, cleaning the soap. And you can't press too hard or the pattern will come off. See, I grew up in a Jamaican house. It's very loving, but it's very laid back. Now I live in a German house. It's very loving, but everything has to be perfect. You marry a German girl, you don't live in a house anymore. You live in a biosphere. Please remove your shoes and socks. Place your feet in the disinfectant detergent. Walk down the hall, touch nothing. If you look to your left, that's our furniture museum. No one's ever sat on it, no one ever will. My wife handed me a cookie on a plate. Then she made me eat with a plate here for fear of crumb. Oh, God forbid a crumb. Like an alarm will go off. Aruga, aruga. There's a crumb on the ground. Aruga, aruga.